Alright, so let's get ready for the dirty German 50 miler. So I'm gonna keep it really simple for this race. And something that I've been noticing, the more I've been running in the heat and dealing with like Virginia and Maryland heat, which I know isn't that hot, but it's hot for me. I'm just absolutely dying. And it seems like my body doesn't like a lot of drink mix inside of the bottles. So I have been like typically putting like 50 grams of carbs in the bottles. And after a while, especially when I'm sweating a lot, my stomach just rejects it, and it seems like my body's not taking it in, and all it really wants is clean water. So I've kind of been transitioning more out of the drink mix and going more with the gel route. And it does make it a little bit easier or a lot faster on aid stations, just because I only need to fill up with the water bottles and with clean water, and that's it. And I don't have to deal with like the little cocaine baggies that I always used to use. So I used to just like fill up the drink mix with these, bite off the end, pour it in the bottle, and then right there have 50 extra grams of carbs, which is still, you know, a really good idea, and probably I'll be using it in the future once I figure out how to deal with the heat. I'll probably go back to the carbs inside the bottles, but right now I'm gonna try out this technique. And I've been using it for all my long runs, I've been using it for all my training runs, just really focusing on getting the electrolytes and getting in gels and then clean water. And it seems like my body really responds to it a lot better than mixing the two together. So this is the nutrition plan for the 50 miler. I'm gonna be trying to get in around 100 to 120 grams of carbs every hour. For the electrolytes, I'm gonna get around 1,000 milligrams of sodium because I am a very heavy sweater and a very salty sweater. And then I'm gonna be trying to take in 2 soft flasks every hour. So it's a lot of liquid, a lot of carbs, and a lot of electrolytes. I've been training this during my long runs, and my stomach is used to taking in so much nutrition all in an hour for consecutive hours. I think I've gone like 4 hours straight of that nutrition plan. So I didn't really have any issues with it, just, you know, had to pee a couple times, but you know, we'll just deal with that on course. So I'm getting around a liter to like 1.25 or 1.2 liters. These are the 600 milliliter soft flasks. So they're a little bit bigger, but I've noticed that they fit in the vest fine. They fit in my waist pack fine. And it's just 100 milliliters more of water than your average soft flask. So these are a definite, if you are a heavy sweater, pick these up because they work perfectly fine. And the caps are the same, so if you have locking caps or anything like that, you can swap them out pretty well. So that's gonna be the nutrition plan. Hopefully what I'm planning is to try to get this race done in 10 to 12 hours, and that's just what I'm expecting, that's what I'm packing for. Hopefully I can run it faster. The goal is around 9 hours, 8 to 9 hours, because it is a very flat course. It's flatter than any of the other 50 miles that I've done. So hopefully I can just hammer in and get a new PR at the 50 mile distance. But it is a loop course, so we're gonna be going around like 15 to 17 mile loop, and we're gonna be hitting that loop 3 times. So I have these bags set up with 3 hours of nutrition for each time I hit the loop. And I'll just be carrying this in my pack. And there's a little bit more extra in these bags. I could just have everything thrown inside my car, but I like to separate them based off of pretty much like a self-made aid station. I'll have 3 hours of gels in there, and then if I want to switch to some caffeinated gels, I have about 100 milligrams of caffeine worth of gels in there also. So if I ever need a little pick-me-up, I'll grab some of these gels and then just drop 2 of the bigger carbs as fuel. And then I have another 3 hours of electrolytes in that go bag also. So basically when I run into the aid station, I'll drop out all my empty shells. I'll drop out all the empty trash, and then I'll just grab this bag, or I'll just grab into the bag and start stuffing it into my pack or wherever it needs to go, wherever I have space in my pack. I'll probably just be using a fanny pack. So I have the John G half tights and then the fanny pack on, and I'll just be stuffing it in these pockets. I don't really have to carry much. I'll probably hand carry 1 bottle, and this guy will go in the back. The waist pack that I do have, it's very tight. I'll do a full review on that thing because it's freaking awesome. It's my favorite new piece of equipment, but it can hold one of these 600 milliliter flask in the back. and secure, and it doesn't bounce around that much at all. And then you can actually have a second 600 milliliter flask in the front, and it doesn't bounce around at all. It's like way less bounce than putting it in your kit. That's the plan. Basically, the aid stations on course are about 3 to 4 miles separated each, and there's like 3 or 4 of them on the course. So I'm only going to carry 2 bottles, and then I'll just fill up the clean water as I go through the aid stations. Probably every other aid station, or maybe just every aid station. I'll make sure that I'm topped off on water, and I can just keep chugging clean, pure water and then sucking it down with all these gels. Now, the brands that I'm using right now, it's Carbs Fuel. So these are really good training gels because they are the cheapest per carb. So there's like a whole thread and calculator online. If I can find it, I'll link it below. But basically, Carbs for Fuel is one of the cheapest carbs per dollar that you'll get online. So I got a bunch of these, and I've been using them during training, and I'll be using them during the race also. If my stomach ever turns south, I do have some of the Precision 90s, and these are great. I've never had any issues with these. I can take a whole one and it doesn't upset my stomach all at once. Some people don't like the hard tip, but hey, I don't know. I've never had a problem with a hard tip. So I'll be switching back and forth between probably the Carbs Fuel, and then every couple hours I'll probably just switch out with the Precision Fuel. And then if I am looking to get a little pick-me-up, I will have some GU Roctanes, and these are 35 milligrams each of caffeine. And you know, I've been using the Morton gels. I just ran out and then I forgot to reorder them. So I went to Dick's Sporting Goods. I've used GU before. I've dealt with like the ingredients in this, so I know I'm not gonna poop all over the place. And I'll just take 3 at a time. I mean, those Morton gels have 100 milligrams of caffeine with like 25 grams of carbs. So taking 3 of these would be about 75 grams of carbs. So I'll just kick one of these out and then get around 100 grams of caffeine also if I do need to pick me up. I'll probably only keep like 2 doses of caffeine, and if I need to take 200 milligrams of caffeine during a 50-mile race, I'm probably sucking anyways, and it really doesn't matter. So if I am starting to feel a little bit hungrier, I'm working a lot harder, I will start supplementing my water with this Freak Shake Endurance. It's their Fuel and Hydrate. I've been using this during training also on a lot of really hot runs because it does have sodium, it has electrolytes, it has about 25 grams of carbs, so I'll always take one of the gels with me so I can get a bunch of extra carbs because I eat and I take in so many carbs while I'm running. So if I do need a supplement, I will be using this Freak Shake Endurance. But that's basically it. I'm keeping it really simple. You know, if my stomach starts turning on these Carbs as Fuel or the Precision, I've ran ultramarathons on potato chips. I've ran it on like those Uncrustables, and I know what my body can run on, and I'll just basically shift and stay adaptable to what's on the aid stations. But the main thing that I'm going to be really focusing on is just keeping it simple, trying to get as much clean water without any like sports nutrition in there as much as possible, because I'll probably be sweating like a pig out there. So because of that, I'll be trying to get as much fluid in me as possible, and then doing the topical cooling as much as I can if there's any ice out on course, or just staying in the shade, or you know, just lowering the pace a little bit, because man, when I start overheating, I get to a certain point and then my body just kind of shuts off. So that's really the only thing that I'm going to be taking in on course. Before the race, probably like 30 minutes before, I'll have an energy drink. I might not take this Kill Cliff Ignite because it has tamarack in it, so it's a little spicy. Sometimes it comes up in burps during my runs when I do drink that before, but I might just stop and get a Red Bull, like a maybe 16 ounce or 12 ounce, and 30 minutes to an hour before the race, I'll get all that sugar, I'll get all those little B vitamins and whatever the fuck they put in their energy drinks, you know, the cow piss and the sugar and all that jazz. Just I'll take that in probably like an hour to 30 minutes, get a good caffeine hit and get a bunch of sugar on deck, drink a bunch of water before I actually start the race, probably like a liter to half a liter. And then that's basically it, keeping it really simple. For breakfast, I've noticed that instead of shoving a bunch of food in my face, just eat until I'm full, and then just like 1 or 2 more bites, and keeping it really, really simple. I'll probably do like a plain bagel or 2, and that's really it. Just get a bunch of carbs on deck, maybe some peanut butter to have a little bit of protein on deck and fat on deck. But really, I'm just trying to probably get around 50 to 100 grams of carbs during breakfast, make sure that stomach's nice and full, and I have a padding for all the gel that is going to be going into my body in like a couple hours. So that's the race plan. Just 100 to 120 grams of carbs every hour, 1,000 milligrams of electrolytes every hour, and a liter to 1.2 liters of fluid every hour. And that's just clean water that I'll be taking in. So we're gonna torture test this nutrition plan during this Dirty German, and I'll have to report back to see how it went. If I do look like shit, it is because we have been moving for the past 2 weeks. I'm still setting this stuff up, but a lot more videos are gonna come. I'm finally in a place where I can actually shoot YouTube videos again, and we have a lot of fun stuff going on. We have a 100 miler in June, we have another 100 miler in September, and we're also gonna be filling up that time from June to September with 50Ks and probably 50 milers. I might do 100K, but I might stay around that 50 mile range leading up to that big 100 miler, the Yeti 100, for the Yeti 100 in September. And the ultimate goal is to get a sub 20 hour 100 miler this year. So once again, and this feels really weird saying, but remember to go out there and become an average savage. You know, every day grinding, even though you're stressed the fuck out for the past 2 years. We've been moving, we've been doing all this crazy shit. I changed my job again, and and you know, things have just been being crazy, but I made sure that I kept on it. I kept the training up. You know, some things fall to the wayside. I wasn't able to do YouTube, edit, film because of all of the craziness, but I did get the work in. I put in the miles, and I've been putting in a lot of speed work, a lot of volume leading up to this 50 miler, and then putting this big training race into action leading up to the 100 miler in June. So no matter what's going on in your life, no matter what you have to do, as long as you're going out there kicking fucking ass, putting a smile on your face no matter what's happening, and becoming an average savage, chip away. Let's get out.